My name is Jimmy Lea. I'm with the Institute. So excited to be here with you, my friends, as you join us. We're going to have a great conversation. You know who's here. You know it's going to be a good time. We have some amazing stuff to talk about as we're talking about marketing in a volatile climate. What are we going to do? What's the difference? How are we going to be able to make a difference for you as a shop owner in your shop and in your business? This is to be an interactive webinar. So you've got questions, we've got answers. Go ahead and type those questions into the questions box. So you see the little icon that's the Q&A. Click on that. That's what you want to click on. And then type in there to make sure everybody knows how to do this. Type in where it is you're joining us from today. Show us where you're joining from today. We've got quite a few that are online. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate this. We got Rich from Baltimore. I hope I said that right, Rich. Rich from Baltimore, Maryland. Rich Young, you are awesome. Thank you for doing that. Everybody else, come on, chat them into the Q&A. You know how to work it. Shane from Clinton, New York. Nice. Next Gen Car Care. Shane, you're awesome. Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate that. Sean from beautiful St. Augustine. Yep, Sean is in the house. Glad to have you here, brother. Thank you very much. Jeff Byrne from German Tech Motor Works, Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville? Jeff, I've been to your shop. In fact, Connor and I came to your shop. I think that's right, Jeff. Remind me. Jimmy Purdy from Shifting Gears in Paso Robles, California. And yes, the S is silent. Louisville. Got it. Louisville. Tim from Bimmer's PhD Motorsports, Pasadena, California. I love Pasadena and I love Tim. It's good to have you here, brother. Yes, we were at your shop. Okay, perfect. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You've got questions. You know how to ask those questions. I'll be the voice for you as we talk about marketing in such a volatile climate. My name is Jimmy Lea. I'll be the host here with you as we are doing projects. For those of you who don't know the home projects that we are doing here at the house, Rhonda is quite the project queen. She's amazing. These projects that we do are awesome. Go on Facebook, check them out. They're in my feed. She's really good, and she's got me doing some pretty good projects. So check them out. You're going to love them. Mr. Connor Tracy from business development with KUKUI. When he's not out saving shops one at a time, he is at the skate park. Connor, we're excited to have you here with us. You can pull up on your video feed. Are you here?
I'm here.
You know, with the challenges we had this morning, you had me a little worried there. It wasn't challenges with you, but it was with our next guest, which is Mr. Bill Adams. Bill from Adams Auto Works. Bill, you are awesome. Thank you for being here. Technical in and out. Yes. Bill, how you doing, brother?
Hey, we're doing great. Glad to be back on with you, Jimmy Lea, and my brother Connor from another mother.
Yep. I love what we're talking about here today because the marketing that shops are doing today, you know, not always does it have that effect today, but it definitely affects tomorrow and next week and next month and even next year. We've got some volatile times ahead of us. Want to talk to you, Bill. What are you doing?
Well, I can't remember who said it, Jimmy, but if you don't have a plan, you'll be sure to hit it. Number one, have a plan. And understand that plans go foobar. It happens, but have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, start a plan. And if you don't know how to start a plan, call Connor, call me, we'll call Jimmy. We'll help you with a plan. Lay out the next 12 months, but know what you're wanting to bring in. But I think, Jimmy, the first thing that I always recommend before spending $1 on any marketing, you got to figure out who your customer is.
Okay.
You got to know who she is, what she drives, how she shops, what she thinks, what does she want to see. And if you haven't noticed, mine is a she.
Yeah, I did notice that. And I was interested. I was like, is he ever going to switch over to the masculine that he drives and what he does? No. So yours is always the female avatar.
Right. Because what do we do? we follow the woman, right?
Yeah.
Woman,
Yeah.
happy wife, happy life. Yeah, we're taking the car to Adams Auto Works to get fixed. Yes, sir. And odds are she's going to make 8 out of 10 drop-offs are going to be with her.
Huh. Okay.
The relationship in our case, I mean, hey, if you want to talk with Bubba about fixing the old Ford, hey, God bless you. There's always fun for that. That's fun. Okay, that's fun. But we're talking about making money and putting food on the table. We got to take care of her.
Yeah.
And what does she need? What does she like? What is and then as you get the avatar put together, we put a marketing plan around her. What type of car does she drive? Where does she come from? You know,
Okay.
I think
like what part of town does she come from? Is that where we're?
no. Where does she come from? If we're looking acquisition marketing, we got acquisition marketing and we got the stuff that Connor does. Well, they do really good, but CRM, getting the stuff that you've already got. We're gonna talk about that a little later, but oh my gosh, there is a mine that smog is guarding because it's all the gold and it's in your freaking shop. But if you're going to do some acquisition marketing, where does that next customer come from? That's the most expensive person that's going to come in your shop. Where does she come from? You don't want them coming in from Firestone necessarily, or God bless Firestone, or Midas, or any Christian Brothers. Yeah, okay, a little hug there. Okay, but we want her to be coming off the dealership. We want her to have that 5 to 6, maybe 7-year-old car, and she's gotten her first really taste of that beautiful dealership experience with the first $5,000 oil change, and the relationship with them is broken.
Oh yeah.
Now you have to.
That happened to my niece.
She's looking for a new relationship. Make it easy for her. Make it
$1,400 oil change at the Toyota dealer.
Yes.
Belt based on time and mileage. Okay.
Yeah, time and mileage, right. So make it easy for her. Make it low friction, not pressure. Do your DVI, best foot forward. Make sure and this is all marketing, guys. Your look, texture, and feel has to be designed on everything you do to be consistent and to be an environment that's going to be something that she's going to enjoy. If your shop's filthy, clean it. Stand back and look at it. I was sitting with Malin last night. Everybody knows Malin.
Yep.
And just it's amazing. Here we are, 50 shop owners in a room, and he's again coming back, same old stuff. Clean your shop, and you're like, yeah. So you know what I did? I got here at 6:30 this morning. I had a blower. I was cleaning the parking lot, but it's amazing. 8 out of 10 clients that come in, especially your new ones, are going to be female, and the other 2 that are dudes are going where their wives or significant others took them. But yeah, after that, get a plan. Know what you're trying to get after. You need a plan. We're here to help you. And Jimmy, back to you.
Well, so
Bill, you've got a really great point there. And in a prior life, a company that I was working with, we did some studies, and we studied NPS, Net Promoter Score, for my shops. And overwhelmingly the customers are female. And the one room that we don't always look and think about, but it's that bathroom. So your bathroom, who designed your bathroom? Is it you or is it the missus? That actually had some of the greatest influence over the cleanliness of the facility was that bathroom. Still a fun thing to think about. Now, Bill, you touched on one thing that I wanted to kind of expand upon, because I talk with a lot of shop owners about this, is, you said, sit there and make a plan. And one of the biggest obstacles from a shop side is, how do I have time to make that plan? So one thing I really preach to shop owners when I'm talking about them is make an appointment with yourself and make it consistent. We're busy. You're going to get curveballs thrown at you. You're going to have this thing come up, that thing come up. Set an appointment with yourself to sit down and evaluate what's going on the same time every time, because that's how you're going to detect change. Change is iterative, right? If you've got big giant dinosaurs jumping out at you, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. But it's that little bit how you guys are going to succeed is those little iterative changes, and the only way you're going to detect those is being consistent. So have that consistent appointment with yourself that you hold yourself and accountable, like we do the people around us, to make sure you make that appointment with yourself to evaluate what you're doing on a unified measure so that you're going to be able to detect that change much better.
So Connor, if I'm a shop owner and I legit, man, I don't have any time during the day, 8 to 5, I'm smack out busy. Am I now making an appointment with myself at 7 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning? Is this what you're talking about?
How important is it to you? Frankly,
Yeah.
if it's important to you, you're going to make the frickin' time.
Hey, Jimmy,
It's
I'm
how
going
we
to
feed.
steal.
It's how we feed our family.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I'm going to steal a little thunder from the silver-haired fox you work with. You're stealing from yourself if you don't plan for this. I don't care if you get up at 4 in the morning. I don't care what you have to do. If your budget for advertising or marketing, however you want to call it, is, let's say the average shop is 6%. If you're trying to acquire new customers, you should be between 8 and 9, maybe even 10. And let's say you do $100,000 a month. Well, let's say at 6%, that's $6,000.
Yep.
Is that worth getting up an hour early for, or 2 hours early for, to make a frickin' plan? Or maybe saying, hey, you know, instead of playing golf on Saturday, you're going to sit down for 4 hours and block out the next 12 months of marketing, and then figure out what is effective and what's not effective. That might be Sunday after church, but it's real money. And if you're putting your money in the wrong basket, you're just lighting it on fire. Go buy yourself a new truck and watch yourself starve. Don't do it, because you're not going to be successful with it. And this is time trued. I got this. I'd show you my back, but the scars, you know, from the beatings and the floggings.
Right.
But it's
That you
not
gave
pretty.
yourself because
Yes,
you weren't.
yes, because I didn't listen to Cecil. Make a plan, stick to a plan. When the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but start and end with a plan.
And
I
also,
love
don't
that.
be too afraid or too prideful to ask for help. Do it or it hurts. If it hurts, you're already too late.
Yeah.
Call me, call Jimmy, call a peer.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to be advocates for you. We want everybody to succeed. I don't care if you're KUKUI client or not. I want you to succeed. I fed my family by fixing cars. I know the stakes. I hinge on the stakes still, even though I'm not in my shop. It just is what it is, guys. But there's people out there that want to genuinely help. I mean, there's every couple of months, I'll call Bill and say, hey, I've got this shop owner that's got this question, man. You got a minute? Bill's a busy guy. I know damn well how busy Bill is, but there's people that have the time. You're not in this on your own. Although we can get really siloed, especially being the king of your kingdom, right? Who do I go to? Sometimes we're afraid of ceding control or not having the answer because we're afraid that's going to scare the people that are relying on us. But you know, the old saying goes, if you're the smartest guy in the room, it's time to find a new room. It's really important that you, if you're butting your head against something, don't just take the scars to your forehead, and don't just slap a helmet on. There's ways to stop doing it. So
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Insanity is keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. It's just not going to happen. So within our shops, within our businesses, we have the ability to do some follow-up. I always say that there's a fortune in the follow-up. There's a gold mine there. There's big time nuggets that you can find even within your database. So some shops have 1,500 customers, some have 4,500 customers. You know, Sean Tipton, how many customers do you have in your database? 6,000? That follow-up can really help you to dig in.
We know Sean's got every Porsche in North Florida, man. They're all cruising into Sean.
Yeah, all the Porsches, BMWs, and the Minis. And Lamborghini. Sean's opening a new shop too. Yeah, he does most
Super
of them.
proud of where Sean's come from, and Sean's a great testament to somebody who's got that kind of discipline, but he's also always been willing to ask the questions, right? He reaches out to you, Jimmy. He's reached out to me, and as a sponge for that kind of knowledge. Jeff Byrne, who's on this call, Jeff at German Tech, really great guy, willing to give his knowledge to other shops, but also is willing to say, hey man, I don't know, and willing to ask questions. So you know, we've got some examples even here, just sitting here watching today, of great examples of that for sure.
So within your system, and Bill, within yours specifically, what is your follow-up process procedure? Because we talk about slow car times, and you're like, what slow car times? I don't have slow car times. What's your secret? What are you doing that helps you in that follow-up?
Great question, Jimmy. Back to it, plan.
Okay.
I had a note here. We're going to talk about it, deferred work. And, you know, you'll hear number one thing, and Connor, I'm sure you hear it when people call up, they need help with KUKUI. It's like, I need more cars. I need more cars. You probably don't. You probably don't.
Car count.
Yeah, car count. You have to have a car count. You have to know what your ARO is. You have to know what your ELR is. You have to have your KPIs set so you have a budget. But there is gold in your CRM, and if you don't know what that means, call Connor. Mining your
And if
own
you don't, if it's not a car count problem, but you're not doing the right kind of work, it's the same issue.
All the above. So what I'd recommend, deferred work, Jimmy, we were talking about this the other day. I had an epiphany that literally, you talk about $1 million idea. In one of my stores, I just did a look, deferred work, pulled it up in KUKUI. Last year, in 2022, we had over $10 million of work that was not sold. And we had a good year.
10 million over how long?
Million over the course of 2022, just 1 year.
1 year.
My total company, we had over $13 million of unsold work. And I'm thinking, wow, gee, what would Cecil do? How about maybe mine that data and go back and look at it? So, I've been banging back with KUKUI. We've got some stuff in place. We're actually putting a whole human in there, basically just to call deferred work. But what KUKUI's got, it's really cool. And I'm biased with KUKUI. I've been there since the nut fell off the tree. That's a long one. But having your shop management system help you and be a force multiplier. Do not rely on the technology alone. Let me repeat that. Do not rely on the technology alone. Follow it up. Have a plan. If you have, talk about making time being disciplined, just take an hour a day, or maybe start with an hour a week. Call a bunch of people and see what happens. It's amazing when instead of the customer coming in, oh, I need an oil change, you write them up for an oil change. Don't care what you charge. I don't care if you give the flipping oil change away. Look at the deferred work. Yeah. Look at the deferred work. I was testing this out with our advisors here at our big store, and we just started, let's look and see what, hey, last time in, we recommended brakes and tires. Looks like the tires are still, they're more worn than they were 6 months ago. And did you get the brakes done?
They didn't grow a new tread. Weird.
Yep. Did you get the brakes done? You get the sheepish look from her. No. Was the plan to have somebody do it for you? Yeah. Yeah. Car's here. Would you like us to get it done? We've already got the parts sourced.
Hi, my name is somebody.
Yes. And so that oil change, whatever it was, turned into a nice $1,500 tag. We don't care if we charge for the oil change. People get so hung up on freaking oil changes. Give it up. Deferred work. And just make the sale. Be a professional consultant. Solve the problem. She still needs brakes. She still needs tires. In your deferred work, out of that low-hanging fruit, let's say that $10 million at my big store, let's say we suck. Just suck at what we do and trying to get that in. And we only land 10% of it. We only get 10% of it. It's just another $1 million.
Bill has 2 commas.
I didn't add one bay. I didn't add another service advisor. I didn't add another tech. I didn't have to do jack except ask the customer if they'd like us to fix their car. We already ID'd it. We've already done the inspection. We've already written the BOP. We've already got the parts sourced. We may have to change the pricing because you never know how old it might be, but you're not re-inspecting the car. You're not going back and making the same presentation you did before. You're now moving forward with a $1,500 estimate instead of a whatever it was, oil change. It will change your freaking life if you can get into that rhythm. And you won't be good at it at first. It's okay. It's like when you first go to play golf, you want to, skiing, whatever it is, skydiving, you want to be good at skydiving. But do it and then learn your cadence. It's like anything with our phone scripts and how we talk to people. And even if they give you a no, the next time in, guess what? You planted that seed. You've planted that seed, and eventually that seed's going to sprout. And it'll also tell you, and I'll wrap it up here. It'll also tell you if they're going to be your client. If they're just coming to you for oil changes, and my buddy Jason Servideo, he's got a line that I bet most service advisors, they get a little throw up in the back of their mouth when they think about this. Let's say some guy gives you pushback every time you recommend getting their car service after you do the checkout, and he'll look him in the eye and say, Jimmy, we've checked your car out the last 3 times, and are you doing your own work? What's it going to take for us to be your mechanic? Yeah. And you just sit there and let him sit on that for a second.
Don't be
What's it
afraid of
gonna-
silence.
Yeah. What's it going to take for us to be your mechanic? Those are things, and you talk about marketing in hard times, that eliminates the hard times because you're not going to be slow. People say, oh, we're slow in February. Well, that's your own fault, stupid. Don't do that. We're slow at tax time. Yeah, it's your own fault. Oh, we're slow at back to school. Yeah, shut up. Just get to work. Plan. You got to have a plan. You got to work the plan. And trust me, I've screwed up every plan. But when it goes foobar, do something different. Don't bang your head against the wall. I love, Connor, what you said. Don't get a helmet, because the breakthrough is not you breaking through the wall with your head. It's getting around the wall. But
And it on a bullet wound, brother.
yeah, deferred work, whatever you call it, get in there, play with it. And there's another little tool that I'm sure Connor could help you with. Some of our new scheduling systems will ask the customer, would you like to get the breaks that were recommended last time done? The customer will go, click.
Huh.
Oh my, oh my, new technology out,
Well,
new technology. I'm not gonna let it go. But just saying, the times are changing, but it still comes back to, we are in relationship service. It's all about the relationship. Don't let the technology dictate the relationship. Let the technology enhance the relationship.
So I
Yeah.
want to expand a little bit on what Bill's talking about with phone follow-up. That frankly is really the most underutilized retention method that we have. I used it really successful in my shops. I did. I sucked at it, just like Bill said. I started out sucking. It was terrible. Failed miserably. It was awkward. I'm like calling people, I'm bugging them. It was uncomfortable. So I want to share some tips for things that I did to make that be successful. First is have a plan on who you're going to call. Everybody that we've recommended work to a certain amount of time. I would follow up with customers. Anybody who, my benchmark was, if we sold more than $1,500 to you, you were going to get a call 24 hours after your visit. Reason being is one, it's good to interact with your customers when we're not requiring them to spend any more money. We want to give them a positive experience. We have to remember, in our industry, we're a business of opportunity first and foremost, but we're also meeting people generally on one of their most difficult days. We hear a lot about the economy and how close people are living paycheck to paycheck. Respecting that and interacting with them on a personal level when we're not trying to sell them something, one, is very important. So post-visit follow-up, very, very good way to start getting comfortable with phone follow-up. Some things I would recommend. This has all come from me falling flat on my face and taking the helmet off and cracking my head open. But first thing, have a quiet place where you're going to make that call. Whether you know it or not, as soon as you pick up that phone to call somebody, the Song of My People, which are the air hammers up here in the frozen north, which we have to use to get everything off, they're going to rev those up. They're going to start seating beads on the tire if you do tires. And that mechanic that maybe doesn't have the most polite form of talking is going to want to have a conversation. And whether we think that customer can hear in the background or not, they 100% can. And that doesn't show that personal level of attention when you've got all this noise and distraction going on. So have a first and foremost quiet place to make that call. The other thing is, again, have a plan. This is one of those things you're going to have to set an appointment for yourself to do. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to want to do it, but set a time and appointment and make it consistent.
Yeah.
The other thing is then be willing to listen. Some of the best advice that I ever got about my business was on those calls, because their guard is down. We're not talking about what they need. They're not worried about how to pay for this repair. We're just talking, hey, I really appreciate you coming in. Was there anything else that we could have done differently, or anything that could have made this experience better for you? You're going to get some of the best, most unfiltered advice on your business that you can get. And then parlay that on to following up with declined services, or maybe lost customer that you haven't seen in a while. Yeah, sending an email and a text message is great, but that extra step, right? Maybe we shoot them a text message at 6 months if we haven't seen them met. Follow that up with an email at 9 months. But by golly, at 12 months, I care about you. I want to get on the phone, because your goal should be having every customer visiting 2 to 2.5 times a year. That's what your average retention for most shops should be. Now, if you're a specialist, an import specialist, that's probably 1.75 to 2 to 2.25, because your maintenance cycles are a little longer, but you're kind of chasing 2. So if you can keep that in mind, guys, if somebody's out 12 months and we haven't had a chance to get them in, get them on the phone.
Yeah.
Because what we're really trying to turn off is Are they finding someone else? You got to
Hey,
close
Connor,
that back
where do you
door.
find that? Where do you find that information, Connor? I'm
Shop management system. But we've got this really great software platform that happens to pay my mortgage that actually has that available to you. So
it's
what's
idiot
really
proof,
great
and
is
I'm an idiot. Yes.
we all are, but have a plan. So one thing that KUKUI does offer is we offer a follow-up module. So you can just tell us, hey, this is what I want to follow up on. We've got a checklist for you. We can do the work for you. Guys, there's plans so that you can add functionality, but not add another job for yourself, not make yourself have more work. There's people that can help. So utilizing software to do that. It goes back to that gold mine that Bill's talking about in your shop management system. Have somebody that can help you mine the gold, right? Am I going to make the gold show up in the pan? Absolutely not. But I can pull it up out of the ground and put it in a sluice box for you. Now you got to do the work. So it's all about that partnership, though. And that's one thing I really credit Bill with, is the reason why we have been successful with Bill for so damn long is because we have always worked together. He gives us that unfiltered feedback. We take that feedback and then we help him execute. That's the way that it should be. And that's one thing we hopefully, we pride ourselves at KUKUI at being able to do. But I don't want this to be a KUKUI ad, guys. Are your partners, are your marketing programs your advocate? Are they your partner? Do you have the ability to go to them and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking, like I said, Jeff Byrne, who's on that call, German Tech Motor Works. Every 6 months or so, Jeff will call me and be like, hey man, here's kind of where I'm at. Do you have that advocate? Do you have somebody who can bounce things off of, whether that's your coaching organization, whether it's a peer mentoring 20 group, if Napa BDG group, ASCCA, there's organizations for you to sound off of other people that may be experiencing what you have, that maybe have seen, that have something success. Maybe they can teach you about their failure. We learn more by failure than we do by success, guys. So have that sounding board and utilize those resources. Take an active role, because if you're not going to take an active role, frankly, your competitors are going to. If you're not trying to ward off the wolves at your doorstep, they're probably already there, guys. If the answer is car count, with the economy that we have, you've got bigger work, because the cars are still here. Now, those car counts are decreasing. We are seeing it. Chances are, if you were at 2 or 3 weeks wait, you're probably maybe at a week or a couple of days. And if you don't think that's a trend, you're lying to yourself. And I talk to shops every day, guys. A year ago, when I was talking to shops, they're like, buddy, I'm a month out. Now I'm a couple of days out. Guess what, guys? Those are data points. That's what's called a trend. It's happening. So if we're not trying to plan the difference, and guys, frankly, marketing moves slow. And the answer is not just marketing. It is taking an active role, but it moves slow. I can't just wave a wand and have cars show up tomorrow. So the things that we do today, it's August, right? Chances are the stuff that you do now might not take full effect until November. Now we're butting up against next year. Okay, now we're talking about the middle of next year. So we can always figure out ways to promise that we'll get it done tomorrow, but it's not tomorrow that you're affecting. It's the rest of your year. It's setting yourself on pace to trend a different way for next year. Are we going to be at 2 to 3 days? Or are we going to be at empty and clean bays? Or are we going to go back to having a week wait or 2 weeks wait? It's up to you. It just depends on the role you want to take in that, and not just sitting back and letting it happen.
Right.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You got to make a plan. There's only one reason to be good at skydiving, and that's if you want to do it again. So make a plan for your marketing, because next year, absolutely. End of next year, third quarter of 24, we're going to see a whole lot of trending shops that are trending, sitting on buckets playing cards, because there's no cars. Why is there no cars? Because their marketing failed today, failed now. So take some time, make some time. If you haven't got time right now, I'm going to plug Mars conference for the Institute next March 21, 22, 23 of 24. This is time that you can take to set up that marketing for the entire year. You've got to plan ahead. You got to plan ahead now. Definitely in skydiving.
You can't afford to wait.
Ahead.
Frankly, you just can't afford to wait. I don't care if you have a $3 million a year shop. Okay, is it going to go to 5 or is it going to be 2 next year? Can you wait? No. The economy's changing. Car counts are changing. Guys, we've ridden a wave. The OEMs gave us the biggest gift that we've had the last 3 years. They just couldn't build cars. So they inflated the new car market, they inflated the used car market. And whether we want to think that we just all of a sudden cracked the ability to just fix cars and that all these customers just showed up, couple things to consider, guys. One, they were somebody else's customer. This isn't their first time having a vehicle fixed. Where did they come from? Well, do we want them to go somewhere else too? No. Then you got to do what you can to keep them there, because they maybe have only been to your shop 1 or 2 times in the last couple of years. They're still little babies. Customer experience goes a long way, but in a really noisy environment, does it go that far? Or are they just pulling the Google machine out of their pocket and whatever pops up, maybe they recognize us, maybe they don't. I'd rather invest my money than gamble with it. My retirement is not based in Vegas. It's based in an investment fund. There's a reason why. And your car counts are really in that tenuous place right now, guys. They are declining. Maybe your specific shop isn't seeing it, but in the country as a whole, it's happening. And if you don't think eventually it's going to happen to you, you're wrong. So take an active role. Do the steps now, because you can't afford to do it later. Because if you wait till it hurts, you wait till you see it at the counter, you're probably 3, 4, 5 months behind. Then you're 3, 4, 5 months to get it corrected. Now you've got a half a year where you've kicked your revenue in the behind. Guys, that's painful.
Yeah, for sure. Got to give a shout out to John Powell. John Powell and I had a conversation here yesterday. He's the COO of Virginia Auto Service out there in Richmond, Virginia. So shout out to John. John has always been Johnny on the spot, first one ever in on the webinars. Today's the first time he wasn't the first one in on the webinar. But a big shout out to you, John. Sean is putting out some information here, Bill, that I wanted to tap on a little bit, and 2 different things. One is a referral program, and second is a loyalty program. When is the appropriate time to start either of those 2 programs?
Yesterday.
Okay.
And again, we're looking at what to do in a tough market, or when we need to really look at CRM, customer retention marketing. Sean also put something down there. First impressions are everything. That doesn't matter if they've been there 1 time or 100 times. First impressions are everything. It sets the edge. Building a referral system, yes. If we have a deal at our shop, and I wish I had one on my desk, but we have $50 gift cards, just like you get from Starbucks, and they're for Adams Auto Works, any of our stores. Anybody says, hey, I was referred by X, our advisors will hand them a gift card and say, would you please give this back to them with our thanks? And we'll also tell people, if you refer somebody, we will give you a $50 gift card. It's amazing. That is like a broken slot machine. You did hand them $50 bucks, but I had them, I had 5,000 made last year. I think we're through, probably 1,000 or 1,500 of them. It's part of marketing.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Bill, hold on. Are you giving them a universal gift card? I'm talking like a Visa, MasterCard gift card?
No.
This is an Adams Auto Works $50 gift.
Yeah.
That's huge. You're handing them $50 to come back.
Right. Like we were talking earlier about, do we care how much the oil change costs? No. We want to do the brakes and the tires. It's like,
yes.
would you like the cherry on top? Yes. That's the oil change.
It's a micro investment. Guys, it's a micro investment.
It's literally
You're
a micro
investing
investment.
a little bit for $10,000 over the next 5 years,
Yeah.
10 years, whatever it is. Doesn't matter.
It is amazing how many of these things we'll have people come in. Hey, Jimmy gave me this card and said that I should come in and get my service done. I just need to get an oil change. Well, great. It'll cost you $20 with that coupon. Wow. Oh, okay. And we're going to do a complete vehicle inspection. We're going to send that to your cell phone so we can go over what the vehicle actually is going to need if it needs anything. We're going to get a plan for you because we're getting to know you, kind of like when you go to the doctor the first time. And yeah, that coupon will definitely help you out, and love to have you. And thanks them again. It's amazing. This the stupid stuff. And back to Sean, referral system, first impressions or anything, all relationship based CRM. And by the way, those $50 gift cards, they cost me literally nothing.
They gotta cost like a nickel, right?
Well, yeah, they make us tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands over
They haven't
a
cost
year.
you anything. They've
No,
made
no,
you a lot.
I just view it as a cost of marketing. Okay, great. And if you guys want to track this is from an owner. In all of our shop management systems, you have a payment method. Put in $50 gift card or referral coupon. I know one guy out there that sends out rebate checks. You can put all that in so you can track it. That's all CRM. Very, very cost effective when you're comparing it against calling one of the direct mail houses and dumping 10,000 cards out there. Do we do that? Yeah, we do. We have a plan. Every month we have X amount of cards to go out for X amount of shops. And we know that, we're going Euro every other month. We're going straight line. We have a plan for all that. But
so are you printing business cards, or these plastic cards? Are they metal cards, wood cards? What is this?
Now I'm gonna go find one. But it's basically just looks like a Starbucks gift card. Everybody knows what one of those looks like.
Yeah.
Except it says Adams Auto Works on it, and it says $50 off. And there's no pressure. There's no friction. And again, if you take one thing from me, lower the friction. Well, that's not how we do it. I don't care. Don't do it that way. We learned with COVID, when we sat around here scared as to death and our butt was puckered up tighter than a duck's. What do? Not what we did.
Yeah.
We're not going to go get new customers. And in a bad economy, you're not going to get them either. You're going to need to mind the people you have and make sure you foster, nurture, caress, love that relationship with those people. It's all about the relationship. John Powell just put up, we use plastic pre-printed cards. Great, that's what we have.
Well, so now 3 people have asked, where are you getting your cards printed?
The local print store that does your business cards.
You guys can
there
get
you go.
them done at Office Max.
Yeah.
You can FedEx.
Costco can do them. Minuteman Press. I'm sure if you want to spend a lot of money, you can go online and go to moo.com if you really want to get crazy. I mean, I know a company that spends a lot of money with KUKUI.
And if I can make a suggestion, guys, find a local print house.
Yeah,
we
that's
want
what I
people
do.
to support local independent businesses like ours,
Yeah.
right? What you'll normally find is that local minute press that's normally family owned. A lot of times will be a fraction of the price of what you're going to spend with the big guys.
Now look at Bill. Bill's trying to find a gift card. He's like, oh, wait a second.
Right.
I'm going to be right back.
So guys, Bill made a really good point though. And I want to kind of elaborate on it too, is, we started this off talking about with car count, and then we kind of go, acquisition. I need to get more cars. The importance of retention in that, acquisition is important. It is. We do need to have a flow of new customers. But when those car counts decrease, where we really need to lean in, unless we're not doing the right type of service. Now, that's the one caveat I want to say here. If you are doing too much of some other kind of service that's not profitable for your business, acquisition is a good part of where you need to lead. But if car count is just the sole problem, if my shop was at 2 weeks wait and I am now at 2 or 3 days wait, where you need to lean in is retention. Your cost is lower. Frankly, it's like almost an 80-to-1 difference between what it costs to drive a new customer in your door or to keep those existing customers. Those customers already know you. Their likelihood to buy is greater because they've experienced your exceptional customer service. I don't think that there's many people in this industry that do a bad job at customer service. We weeded that out 20 years ago. The difference is that they know you, they trust you. Also, generally, we're recommending the work that we want and need to be doing. How often are we handing over a quote like, yeah, it happens on occasion, but it's by far the exception rather than the rule. We're recommending the brakes, the steering and suspension work, the maintenance work, the stuff that we can turn that in an hour and a half. It makes us positively productive. And the GP on it, it just is what it is, guys. And that is who we're keeping away from those big boxes. Those big boxes don't do diagnostic. Why is that? Because they will happily take the 70, 60, 80% margin on that work and not have to mess with all that other stuff. We have a competitive advantage that we can service every system on that vehicle appropriately, properly, take care of that thing from bumper to bumper, and we don't have to give that up. The fact of the matter is that is where your gold lies, especially if car count is down. Yes, if you need to change the type of service or you need to be doing better high grossing service, we should look at retention respectfully. But if that's not your problem, you need to be leaning into retention hard.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Bill, you talk about your referral program. I love your referral program. $50 gift card, freaking amazing. Yeah, blew my mind. That's next level. And John is doing $20 gift cards that he pre-prints, plastic cards as well there with Virginia Auto. Super awesome. What about a loyalty program? Is that also a program you should start yesterday? Is that something you've done or did or do, or is that something for a future conversation?
Well, it's a matter of what works for you and where is your time best spent. Referral programs work good. There's a lot of them that have a lot of moving parts. For me, that's friction, which I glaze over and I'll fall asleep. If you can automate the referral program, and it's
referral or loyalty?
I'm sorry, loyalty program. If you can automate it, that's a positive. And there are some tools out there if you do it. The best bang for our buck is relationship. Thank you card.
Oh, nice. Does that go in every car, or are you mailing that?
Customer spends $1,000. We send out a handwritten card with the $50 card inside.
Nice.
Yeah. I was preparing for this thing and I was going to bring them in. I have a manila folder stuffed full of people that have brought coupons in over the last couple months. And what I love to do is I like to send them. We take them to the Automotive Service Council meetings, stuff like that. Say, hey guys, this is retention marketing. We were just sitting in one last night talking about it. It's funny, we're talking about this today. Same thing last night at a dinner about how are we going to navigate these stormy weather that's going to be coming up. Number one, be prepared. And if you prepare for Murphy won't bite you as bad. But you've got to have the Murphy fund, and that's deferred work. That is having a plan. The retention program, loyalty programs, there's a couple great ones that are out there. It's really going to matter what turns your flywheel, what keeps adding fuel. We talk about having a plan. If you get something that doesn't really work for you, or you're like, and that was us. I'll be honest. We tried the retention program. It's like, we got much more bang for the buck doing something else, so we're feeding that one. Because we only have a set amount of time, guys. I know that. We all bust our hump. We sacrifice, we give. Time management, that's a whole different issue. But find that time to not just do the work, get people to do the work. We're actually hiring a top line, very expensive person. That's all their job's going to be, is basically call customers, retention, thank you customers, follow up. Because we found just in playing with this, the gold is just stupid money. And like I said, in just my one store, if we stink at it and we only get 10%, that's just $1 million. The average shop in the country, Connor, what is it, 750, 800,000?
Yeah,
you're adding another store without adding one more lift, one more mortgage payment. You're not adding a rent payment. In most cases, you have latent productivity. Imagine if your guys, instead of having to come in and do an oil change, which they all hate to do, they do the DVI, that all gets done, gets written up, gets sold. Imagine if that stuff is pre-sold and they come in and all that stuff they recommended last time gets done. What do you think is going to happen with your inspections? Oh, they actually got stuff sold by service.
What do you think is going to happen with your technician retention? What's one of the biggest things you hear techs gripe about doing an oil change? It's another damn oil change. I'm going to get it in. I'm going to inspect this crap. It's not going to sell.
My service advisor can't sell it.
Preach. Yes.
Right.
But we want to sit there and talk about technician shortage. There's not a technician shortage. We're just not finding the people that we want or the people that we really and truly need. But what are we doing to show that valuable technician that knows he could go to any other shop and do the same job? If we can sell more of his work that he wants to be doing instead of feeling like I'm doing this nothing inspection, guys, that shows that effort. Can you afford not to do it? I don't think you can.
That's all part of marketing, guys.
It is.
It is all part of it.
I was having a conversation with a shop in Northern California, which will remain unnamed. We'll call the owner of the shop Aaron. Aaron has a 20% conversion selling rate, 20%. So my conversation with him yesterday was, dude, you have such a huge opportunity to upsell that 80% that's already been sourced, that you already have a part, you already know where it goes, where it comes from, how to get it. Pick up the phone and make a call, make it happen.
You already did the hard part.
He did
Yep.
the hard part, right?
Hard stuff's done.
So, Bill, I took a page out of your book and talked to Aaron about, you need to make these calls. And once you see how successful they are, maybe you'll hire another person. Guess who starts on Monday?
Another person.
Another person.
Amazing. Is it harder to sell something that you've already talked about and got it all done and you're circling back? I look at it, and I like to use analogies, and I love analogies with the medical field because we are car doctors.
Yep.
Now, and I just threw it up there online. We're talking about a dentist. You go into the dentist to get your teeth cleaned. That's an oil change. They're going to clean your teeth. They're going to do a detailed write-up on it. It's going to come to your phone now. It looks really cool, kind of like what we have. I wonder, maybe the same software people. If you need a filling done, or you need a deep cleaning, or we might need a root canal, or, we're going to need to do a treatment on it. If you don't get it done that day, how many texts, how many phone calls, how many follow-ups do you get? I know my dentist will not let me go without, no, Bill, we talked about this. You saw the cavity in your tooth. We need to get that done before it abscesses, and I have to drill into your jaw. Oh, well, I have Tuesday.
When you put
Bill.
it that way.
I have Tuesday, Bill. Would you like to be here at 8 or 9? Again.
And have you ever left the dentist without them telling you need something? Yeah, your gums are bleeding. Yeah, that's because your tech just jabbed me with metal tools for the last half an hour, right? But the fact of the matter is it's absolutely correct. Like, even if it's just something, a light bulb here and there, guys. I mean, it's we don't always have to swing for the fence either, but little things add up to big things. And if we're not asking, it's not going to happen. And if you're not taking an active role, it just won't happen. You're doing all the work. You're writing the quote. You're sourcing the parts. You paid for the shop management system to make it happen. You've got the relationship with the part house. You've got the marketing tools. Guys, you put so much work, time, love, and effort to make it happen. Just freaking ask.
Here's a quick how it goes, guys, and you can share this. And trust me, I have good hair still. I didn't lose one bit of hair doing this. Okay, Mrs. Jones, we just got your service done, and they got that last week. We did send you the digital inspection about the brakes, and you didn't have time to get the brakes done at that time. I have Monday and Tuesday available next week. What day would you like, and what time would you like to drop off your car?
Frictionless.
Didn't give them a no, did I?
Mm-mm.
They need brakes. You have a cavity. You are bleeding. You must be fixed. So what day would you like to bring it in? We have Monday and Tuesday, 8 or 9 o'clock to drop off. And if you need a ride, we can get you an Uber complimentary.
I love that.
Remove the friction, folks, and don't be embarrassed to ask the question. Like Connor said, we spend tens of thousands, and some of us spend hundreds of thousands getting the opportunity to ask the customer for the privilege of serving them. Do it. And if your advisors are too embarrassed, remember, your service advisor has but one job. I will quote Cecil again. I think this is the second Cecil 3.2. Your service advisor has but one job, and that is to give each technician 8 to 10 billable hours a day. Folks, ask the question. If you can front load a sale because you recommended brakes and tires last time, oh, how about those struts and control arm bushings? Do you think they freaking healed themselves? Control arm bushings are not Pentecostal. They do not heal themselves. Ask the sale. You're right there at the stinking counter. I'm filling in for one of my service advisors this morning. Matter of fact, we all know Becky, one of the top service advisors in the country. She used to sell freaking rutabagas. She's now selling $2 million a year by herself. And it is all relationship-based selling. I had one of her clients come in. We worked on their car a couple months ago. I asked him, I said, hey, last time in, Becky recommended that you get the brakes and the struts done on your Chrysler. Would you like to get that done while we have the car today? Yeah, you know, when she mentioned it, yeah, the ride is terrible. Can you get that done? You darn right. Done. $2,000
Because we've
sale.
already planted the seed, right?
A
That's the
$2,000
thing.
sale. Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
know they had that problem. When we told them they had that problem, whether we want to recognize or not, that's sitting in the back of their head. That's bugging them. They didn't hear that noise, but now they freaking hear it, right? How many
And they-
people they never had that scratch on their car before they came into our shop. They notice it because
Exactly.
they're finally thinking about their car. They're getting their car. It's an automatic experience, right? People don't interact with their cars anymore. Our car is a rolling app anymore. Basically,
Pretty much.
it's
Yeah.
an active transportation app, right? So, but now we say, hey, you know, those brakes are starting to get low. Now they're hearing it. Those brakes might not be making noise, but they're hearing it. Or that bushing, they hear that bushing. So that when we can then provide them that solution, hey, you know, we mentioned that. Is that making that noise? Are you feeling that? Well, you know, we should take care of that. Absolutely. We already created the problem. I mean, we didn't create the problem, but we let them know that there's an issue. Let's just reaffirm that we're that solution.
How many times do we know we have a cavity?
Not unless it's really bad, right?
Right. Yeah. So the dentist says, hey, look, Aki, you got a hole in your tooth. We need to fill that. Oh, okay. You need brakes. Here's the picture. We all have these DVIs. We do a great job. Yeah, folks, marketing in hard times, 99.99999% of it, go look in the mirror. There's the issue. Get out there. Relationship-based selling, relationship-based solving the problem. The customer, their pain point is they have to have reliable, safe transportation. She demands it. Solve the problem.
And people are driving more and more. So
Yep.
yeah, for last year, I think it finally went over 14,000 miles a year as average. I mean, a couple years ago it was 10, right? Like,
Oh
people are
man.
driving more.
Yeah.
So the reliance on that is more and more.
Rhonda and I, in her car, she got a new Lexus, like 4 miles on it when we got it a year ago. We're at like 24,000 miles on her car.
I live out in the country.
1
I
year.
put 50 on my car this year.
Oh,
Because the trip to the grocery store is a 20-mile round trip. But guys, that's your customers.
yeah.
They're not driving less. They're driving more. People are getting out more. We had a short time when people weren't, but what that did is people really understood the value of interpersonal connections. You know, COVID didn't pull us away from each other. It showed us the value of being together.
Yeah.
And that's been reflected in average driving habits. That's been reflected in our ability to do what we do, guys. And it's just that we need to take that active role because our lives are just noisier. That Google machine that's sitting in their pocket is a noisy thing, but it's what they rely on to manage their life. And if we can just take a little role, whether it's sending a text message or dropping an email in there, or for heaven's sakes, just giving them a phone call from one human to another saying, hey, you know, is that still not been fixed? And how the heck can I help? If you don't think that's going to solidify them as your customer for years and years, again, you need to pull that mirror out and take another look.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's bring this plane into land now. What's the top 3 things that we're taking from this conversation? Connor, we'll start with you, then Bill, and then we'll wrap things up.
First thing I would share is, you know, 1, set an appointment with yourself to sit down and really analyze the effectiveness of the tools and the processes that you have in place. Be honest, be brutally honest with yourself. Is this working? Do I have the confidence that I can reach out to this company that I'm working with and they can help me with the solution if I need it? So really be honest and audit what you have. Then start to set yourself those appointments. What you're going to find is that iterative change will come. If you need to make a major change, you need to find a new provider, need to find a new partner, freaking do it. Make that appointment. Don't wait. You cannot afford to wait.
Great stuff, Connor. Great wisdom there. Yeah, I'm gonna stand on his shoulders because they're really broad and he's really strong. Don't wait. 2024 will be here, I think tomorrow. So get your plan for 24, and by then you can have a couple months to screw stuff up. It's okay. Just fix it. Couple 3 things. Number 1, lower the friction in your shop. Stand back and look at the whole process. You want to have an eye-opening thing? Videotape your sales counter and just go watch. Don't embarrass your service advisors. And if you're up there, well, you can embarrass yourself. watch, look at the friction points, eliminate them, ruthlessly eliminate the friction points, get rid of them, kill them. Number two, deferred work. If you're not into it, get into it. If you don't know how to manage it, do something. You will figure it out. We're all smart people, but call them, text them, just like Connor said, leverage the CRM systems that almost all of us have. And if you don't, the guy over there on the other side with the funny shirt, he can help you. And then have a plan. Know that it's going to be FUBAR and you're going to have to change it. And that's okay. Just do it. Get a plan. And Jimmy, I'm going to throw a fourth.
Please.
This will be a little quick personal. The guy that Jimmy works for is Cecil Bullard, and I will probably cry. Cecil saved my business because I went to him about 7 years ago, and my business was broken. We had no shop, we had nowhere to play, and I ended up, through the grace of God, in this big old monster freaking building, and it's like, oh God, now what? He told it to me straight. He kicked my butt because I asked him to. And he charged me a lot of money for it too. But in the end, after I threw his plan against the wall and stormed out of my own office, I picked it up, dusted myself off, read the frickin' thing, and called him up and I said, okay, how do we do this? If you're at that point, call Cecil. Call somebody that knows how to do this. We're out there. We are willing to help. Like Connor said, I love talking to shop owners. I'm on the front line still. I mean, I'm there. We have four platforms, and I get to see itty bitty shops. I get to see big shops. I have a monster. We're here to help, but always, if you need help with a plan, call us. We'll help you out.
Oh man, I love that. Thank you, and I'll be sure to make sure that Cecil is able to watch this and feel the love. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that big time. My three things is number one, make a plan. Number two, crush the plan. Number three, evaluate the plan. Did it get us what we wanted? And you really only need to be good at skydiving if you want to do it again. So yeah, let's be good at skydiving. Let's be good at marketing. Let's make sure that our bays at our shop is staying nice and full. Thank you guys. This has been an absolutely amazing conversation that we've been able to have, talking about our shops, talking about our market, talking about what we're doing to elevate our market, to elevate our industry. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.